Right, so what we've got here are large woody debris dams sitting in the main beck, and it's actually a natural function. As timber falls naturally in the woodland, as you've got it on the banks there, it'll fall naturally into the streams and it'll block itself up, especially if you've got quite large long timbers. And when you get a high flow, some of them will get washed downstream, but particularly the longer timbers, they won't wash down very far because they get jammed. So that's what happens in the natural form. And then once you get the timber across there, you'll get what's happened behind that one there. A lot of brash and sort of bits and pieces get caught up behind it, and there's quite a lot of sediment then gets caught in behind it as well, which is great because that's taking sediment out of the river. But what's happened here is that these are being built to ape what happens naturally, and they've worked out from building them previously that you leave a gap below them. As you can see, that upper one, there's a big gap underneath it. So under normal conditions, all the water's flowing completely unimpeded. There's no problem from any fish swimming up and down there, so in ecology terms it's good. But as soon as you get a high flow, when you get the heavy rainfall, as the rivers rise, you'll get a certain amount going underneath, but the rest of it suddenly hits this timber and starts to back up. So what you've got is water being forced out of bank and into what little bit of floodplain there is. So you've got effectively a dam, so the water's sort of backing up behind it as well as being thrown out onto the floodplain. So if you put a series of these into the river, firstly you're taking energy out of the system under high flows, as in it's slowing it down, and then it goes until it reaches the next one, but there's a lot less energy in the system in the first place, so it's not rushing down. And it's all about slowing the flow, but it's also about catching the sediment as well. So they're great little structures. You've got to put them in the right places. You can't just put them anywhere, because sometimes you can actually make the flooding effect worse when you get coincident flood peaks from adjacent subcatchments. I'm getting a bit complex now, but you've got to model exactly where you put these sort of things and put them in the right places. But up here, it's not causing any problem. We've got into this habit of keeping rivers nice and clean and well cleared. If there's a bit of timber falls into it, get rid of it. It's completely wrong. You know, it's the natural way that rivers work. That's what we're trying to get back to, where they naturally slow the flow, they naturally force water out into the floodplains. So all it is mimicking what nature does itself, instead of us messing about with it and ruining the whole effect.